How do we decide who goes first in the game? Is it by seeding?
I believe it's the seeding.
So
Yes.
Casper should be
For
going
game one, it's
first
the
in this.
seating. So, yes.
Though I do like a good die roll.
So Casper's playing what I imagine is a blue-white control deck, right? Based on what you guys have been saying.
Yes. It's more
So
like a 5-color control deck, but mostly blue-white.
Okay. So this is like what the 5-color deck looked like before Beanstalk was printed, basically.
A little bit. It's also running Omnath, so yeah, I guess it's like a...
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
blue-white running Omnath.
It's more along the control continuum than the mid-range, I would say.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it is going to be a difficult matchup for Yawgmoth.
One thing I feel like Casper will be relying on quite heavily is the fact that Subtlety is going to tuck those key pieces instead of having them in the bin for Soul Cauldron to make use of.
Yes. And he's going to have counter spells for the Chord of Callings.
Yeah, and Forces of Negation. Wow.
I mean, it's very unlikely that Alex ever casts a chord during his own turn. So he's going to probably wait until Casper taps out.
Oh yeah, wait till he taps out, of course. I was wondering, on our discussing earlier, ages ago, we were discussing about questing Druid in Murktide. Would they end up splashing green for the face of questing Druid?
Yes, they do.
Does that put Goyf in contention as a Murktide card?
So people were trying Goyf and then realized that questing Druid was just better. So no, no Goyf, I'm afraid.
Okay, because my thought was like maybe you would run maybe you'd run both, but
no, you would just run Druid. Druid gets big enough that you don't really want the Goyf.
Well, there go my dreams of basically turning Murktide into Teemo Delver, but
I was thinking sleeve up a Nimble Mongoose.
nice.
Is that legal in Modern?
I think they put it in Modern Horizons something or something.
Yes, I can confirm it's in Modern Horizons 1, printed at Common, and I have played it in Modern in Abs and Shadow, of all things. And yeah, it's okay if you get a.
You've got Supreme Verdict, Solitude, Dress Down, One Ring, I think 2 lands. Plays 2 lands, 3 lands.
Soul Cauldron, half Yawgmoth, Blood Artist. Okay, very interesting hand.
No Undiers, but that's quite a hot variety of pieces to assemble.
I think that's promising.
So being on the draw and having the turn 1 Accelerant is massive here. So he drew into an Ignoble Hierarch. I'm not sure why he ran that out instead of the Halfling. Top decking a Grist here would really punish him for not playing out the Halfling. Halfling also makes the Cauldron uncounterable.
Yeah. And the Ignoble Hierarch represents 1 hasty damage off the Exalted as well. So if you had to attack with the Halfling, you'd come in for 2.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's some logic there. Perhaps he wants to save the Halfling, wait for removal to be played out.
Yeah. Doesn't want your opponent to know that you have the Halfling in hand. You gotta have your deck the right way round. Come on.
Nothing gets me worse than when people shuffle cards in willy-nilly, whatever direction they want. Oh,
I'm wondering if the choice of ignoble there was knowing that the first orc was just going to die.
yes,
Yeah.
I think it likely was. We see a turn 2 cauldron here.
One thing I noted when I just checked out Cauldron is that you can hit your opponent's graveyards, which means
You
that it's like a main deck graveyard splash hate card.
It is. It is.
You can do some beautiful things in just disrupting what your opponent's trying to do with that as well. It's so much fun.
Yeah, we see him now exiling cards from his opponent's graveyards.
Makes me think Hearst didn't last long now that we've got Cauldron.
I think they're subtly different. Like, I think outside of decks that can abuse Cauldron, Hearst is still probably the better card.
Okay, we see the cycling of a dress down, which is an interesting choice to make. I believe that's a Steam Vents in hand for Casper.
Will the dress down the sack of an evoke cost elemental?
It does, yes.
Yeah.
Though I don't imagine that's going to happen, since the ETB trigger would also not happen.
Sometimes you've got a 2-for-1 yourself for a 3/3 double strike.
He's not playing any
Although
Furies.
No, he's not playing any Furies, is he?
And the dress down does cycle, so.
Okay, there's an early One Ring coming out. It's not too bad for the current board state. There is a Yawgmoth in hand, but we lead with a Wall of Roots. I assume we're going to start seeing that get ticked down so it can end up in the graveyard as soon as possible, even if nothing is cast from it.
So Yawgmoth player wants the Wall of Roots in the bin so that they can have their Cauldron let people make mana.
Yes, I assumed Alex would make that play, but maybe he has another plan. I'm not sure why he didn't.
If he has Yawgmoth in hand, and he's looking to play that maybe next turn, he can sacrifice the Halfling to get the Batter Mana Engine into the graveyard, and then he doesn't need to rush on the Wall of Roots. Might be the reason.
That's true, but I think you'd still want it in the bin just for flexibility.
Possibly.
He is the better pilot, so we'll see what happens here.
Is that prismatic ending? Yeah.
I believe so.
That has to feel pretty good from Casper. Cauldron's such a scary card.
Well, it also just shuts down so much of the combo potential as well. Like,
Yeah.
although Casper being very aggressive with his life total at the moment.
Yeah. So, not seeing a Bowmaster at the beginning of the turn when there was a ring activated, I assume means that there are no Bowmasters in Alex's hand.
Yeah. And now we've got... That is 3 mana to Fairy, isn't it? Right?
Yes.
That is 3 mana to Fairy, yes.
Yeah. So, okay.
In response, we see a Cord for 0. Maybe getting a Dryad Arbor. No, is that a Cord for 1? Yes, it is 1.
Of course, Casper here is playing the all text Teferi. That explains everything about what planeswalkers do on it.
Yes, in far too much detail. We might see that bouncing the One Ring. No, we see it bouncing the Halfling. Okay.
Does that suggest that he's got permission in hand?
Oh, certainly, certainly.
He could also just be trying to protect his life total.
Possible, but more likely permission.
But
Because
he's
if he really wanted to protect life total, he'd bounce the ring.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Because the ring's guaranteeably dealing 2 damage to him on his next upkeep.
Yeah, if he has another Teferi in hand, he maybe wouldn't have done that.
I don't know.
Yeah, we've seen an attack on the Teferi. Could be a Solitude in hand.
Does Casper have 2 white sources or 1 white source available to him?
He has 2 white sources, a Snow Plains and a Hallowed Fountain.
Okay. I was wondering
Snow
if
Plains look slightly red, which makes you think it's a red source, but it's not.
Okay, that makes sense. I was thinking he might want to wait until his next turn to do the Solitude.
So we're going to see a chord for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that's a Yawgmoth mana. Could be Yawgmoth or a Shieldred. Bowmasters.
Bowmasters.
Did he overpay for that, or am I miscounting? 23. Yeah, he definitely paid 7 for that.
Overpaid by 1. Yeah.
Sometimes
Sorry,
when
that
you're
was that was for 3.
No, that was for 3. Yeah.
So I guess he was debating a Grist or a Bowmasters.
Actually, no, he played Halfling and then he did it. So yeah, he replayed Halfling and then did it for 2.
No, it wasn't for 2, right? If you play a Halfling, then you definitely can still do it for 3.
But he didn't tick up Wall of Roots.
Wall of Roots is currently on 2, right?
1. I see 1.
Okay, I can't really tell with the stream.
Okay, yeah. I know you're right. I think it's 2. Maybe he overpaid.
Yeah, I think he was maybe thinking about getting a Grist instead.
Mm.
Now he's probably wishing that he got a Grist. Here we see a Yawgmoth.
I think he's probably going for a combo kill as opposed to a beatdown plan at this point.
yeah.
No.
Yeah, if he makes this block, then it makes it much easier for him to kill Omnath.
That's true, yeah.
Because it's attacking as a 3/3 as well.
Mm.
If at any point the ring gets tapped, then Omnath is also going to die immediately.
Mm.
This isn't where you want to be with a ring out, not able to tap it.
Yes.
Indeed, yeah.
In a strange way, Ring and Bowmasters coming out at the same time kind of helped keep both of those cards in check.
Well,
yeah.
it definitely helped to keep the ring in check. It did not keep Bowmasters in check.
Yeah, maybe I'm just on the side of Bowmasters naturally anyway.
I mean, it is a very Luke card.
Yeah. Speaking of which, if anyone's got 3 more Bowmasters that they can trade me.
Well, if the person who's bought 2 of my foil ones on Card Market doesn't end up paying the money for them, they are available. If you want some full art foil Bowmasters.
No. If you've got any heavily played.
I think it's a bit early.
I can scuff them up for you if you'd like.
Can we check the chat, please, people?
Sure thing. What is chat saying?
I've got it up on a side screen anyway.
Can we please play Goif? No Goif, sorry.
Ananda's got them. Of course, Ananda's got them.
Yeah.
Oh, Alex has in hand Yawgmoth, Blood Artist Chord. Yes, we did see the Blood Artist earlier. So if the Blood Artist comes down, it's pretty much game over. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 triggers with Blood Artist, plus an attack would make it lethal. Sorry, no, 6 triggers of Blood Artist. Okay, so Alex opting not to go for the Blood Artist route here. So we saw a binding on the Bowmasters and then tapping the ring to draw cards. I think Alex was sacking creatures in order to try and draw a Bowmasters.
Did he have the second one in hand, or was
No.
that
No.
a different game?
No.
If he had another Bowmasters in hand, he would have played it immediately in response to the
Yeah.
ring trigger. So Prismatic ending the Halfling. It gets sacrificed to put a counter on Omnath. I think Omnath has 3 counters on it now. So he's going to die very soon. And the dying creature changes everything here. I think that was a land off the top. So he can chord for an undying creature if Simone is right about his evaluation of the hand.
Which, by the way, he said it was Yawgmoth, Blood Artist, and Chord. We've seen the Yawgmoth.
I think the Yawgmoth was a second copy.
Okay.
Okay,
There's
undying
the undying creature.
Oh, that resolves. Okay, undying trigger comes back, draws a card. Okay, so we're putting everything back on the stack. I think there might be a response to the undying trigger.
Yeah.
The hand is now Chord, Halfling, Blood Artist. So he may be trying to remove the Yawgmoth in response to the undying trigger. Yes, that is what he's trying to do.
I think so, yeah.
Probably going to sack these Wall of Roots to draw some cards after floating mana. Unless he has another Yawgmoth in hand.
Which he apparently doesn't.
Okay, still has a Chord.
Chord, Halfling Artist, Counterspell, Otawara, Zagoth.
Okay, we see Yawgmoth get exiled. The Young Wolf comes back with a +1/+1 counter on it.
So what do you think Alex's likely play is here then? Like, does he chord trying to find another Yawgmoth, or do you think he...
I think he takes it slow and probably plays out the Blood Artist and Halfling.
Okay.
The other option is, of course, is called for Sheldred, I think.
Yeah, I think he'd rather do that in response to the trigger.
Of course, yeah, as in response to activation of Ring.
Which
Oh,
he
what's
doesn't
he
have the
doing
option.
now? Oh, right.
Oh,
I
he
see.
will be able to do
He's
that
going
with
to
the Wall
1,
of
2,
Roots,
3,
of course.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8. He can chord for 5.
So this is the point at which he would chord if he has it.
I think
He's not going down that line. Okay.
maybe if he's playing around a counterspell, then
Yeah.
which I think he might just be doing, because he has enough power on board to end this game pretty quickly.
Mm-hmm.
In Casper's shoes, would there have been any thought to counterspelling the Blood Artist, turn off the combo kill, or is that a bit too aggressive?
If you have the counterspell in hand, I think you're pretty safe.
Mm-hmm.
So in response to the Omnath draw trigger, I think he's going to try and chord here, which will force a tap out.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to see a chord here.
1, 2, 3, 4,
It's
5,
counting.
6, 7. Is that a chord for 4?
Yeah.
Yep. So now we do see Alex ticking down the wall of roots with more counters on it in order for it to die to the Blood Artist. Sorry, for the Blood Artist trigger.
What was that counter he cast? Sorry,
Counter spell.
is that actual factual counter spell? Okay.
Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
So we see a land drop and the gaining of 4 life here. But not a fetch land. As far as we know, there is just a tap land in the hand. So Yawgmoth off the top, a Cord off the top, Cauldron off the top. All fantastic draws. We're seeing mana being tapped, uncounterable, Grist. And we're going to probably see the probably a Wall of Roots being sacrificed in order to kill the Omnath.
Mm-hmm.
And then an attack for 2. I'm not sure he could have. How many cards are in Casper's hand? 1 or 2?
I think, given the
It's 2 or
tapped
3,
one
right?
ring, hasn't he drawn some additional cards?
Yep.
Ah, yes.
Yeah. Has the attack for 2. Seems unlikely that Casper would respond to that, but let's see.
He does have a ring on 4, so it puts him in a rather awkward situation.
Yeah.
Okay, so we see a dress down.
Mm.
Somewhat surprised that didn't happen in response to the Blood Artist or the Grist. It would have made it.
I think he wanted it to remain into his turn, so that
right.
if he draws a Supreme Verdict, Blood Artist doesn't just kill him.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's right.
That's
Yeah.
so smart.
Well, he's in danger just losing to ring. Yeah, if he can't bounce it somehow.
Yes, he played out his Otawara, which puts him in an awkward situation.
But he's just seen another 5 cards, so hopefully for him, he's
And
got a
4
way
mana
to...
for an Omnath or a ring here.
I think another ring.
It's a ring.
Yeah.
Okay. It's pretty good. He's still on 5.
Yeah. And I believe, Blood Artist targets, so he's actually
Yep.
safe. Yeah.
Yes, he is safe for a turn.
I have seen a couple of Yawg lists running Pseudoport Cutthroat to get around this particular interaction.
Yeah, Cutthroat doesn't trigger on your opponent's creatures, though, which is the issue.
It doesn't.
Yeah.
But I
It
feel
doesn't.
like you're not relying on your opponent's creatures dying a lot of the time.
Yes. But this Blood Artist is prettier, so...
That is a good point. Like, there is not nearly as nice as Pseudoport Cutthroat art.
Is he discarding the hand
Discarding.
sense?
I think he is. Yeah.
Yeah, he has to be. He's drawn 9 cards over his 10 cards extra cards over his last couple turns. No, 11 extra cards. So he absolutely will be.
The ring effect is still active for this turn. Was that the previous turn?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
For this turn. You can see her Patra getting milled by Grist. Okay, Soul Cauldron. Yep. Then there's a Yawgmoth in the bin. There is no Walking Ballista, so we're going to see a Yawgmoth getting exiled. Oh, nope, Forced Negation. Pitching or paying? If he has a counter spell in hand, he's probably pitching. Okay, Forced Negation, pitching, Forced Negation.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay, that resolves, and it doesn't get countered because he tapped a halfling.
Oh. Oh no. Oh no.
Oh dear.
Oh, that's brutal.
It is, but that's the way it goes.
Oh no.
He can probably do something here, right? Yawgmoth knowers.
Yes, he can exile his Yawgmoth to put a counter on Halfling or Blood Artist. Then start sacrificing things. So you can sack a Wall of Roots, put a Manus counter on the Undying creature, sack the Undying creature, and then sack another creature. So that's easily four triggers.
You can certainly draw arbitrarily large number of cards too.
He doesn't need to. There's easily 4 Blood Artist triggers. So the moment that Casper goes for removal, it's game over.
Oh, so it's kind of like a priority standoff right now.
Yes.
Yeah. Who will
And
twitch first?
it doesn't matter because if Alex just does nothing and then attacks next turn, he wins the game.
So we see another ring. Now, presumably, Alex will want to try and combo in response to this ETB effect.
I think he won't. I think he'll just let it happen.
I think
Because the inevitability is in Alex's favor right now.
This is
true.
true.
Alex can still draw a bunch of cards in response to the removal of a Leyland Binding or whatever. So he's definitely favored. There is a Yawgmoth in the bin, right? I'm not misremembering this.
I can't tell. Hopefully our friendly neighbourhood Simone can tell us.
Our reporter at the scene.
Oh, okay, he's exiling the Wall of Roots. Is that a Yawgmoth third card down?
I cannot tell.
I'm pretty sure he did play one to get binned at some point.
Yeah.
I believe it got exiled.
That got exiled.
Okay.
This lets him make a ton of mana, though. Oh yeah, we can see it in exile, actually.
Yes, off to the left.
Yeah, there is one in exile. I just wasn't sure if there's another one.
I don't think he's milled one.
So if he mills one here, that'd be amazing. Fulminator Mage. Okay, well, that's pretty good too.
That's pretty exciting.
So I assume you exile Fulminator Mage, sacrifice 2 things during their turn.
I think you potentially do it in Casper's upkeep to minimize his options, but
yeah, the issue is that you only have 2 sack triggers. So on his own end step, he should be making mana with Wall of Roots, so that he has 3 triggers.
This is true. He might have missed a trick there.
Oh no, he's fine. There was a counter on the insect. That's fine. Yeah, okay. He gets a third one.
It's also the damage off one ring.
Yeah, that's what I was accounting for. I didn't see the counter on the insect earlier. So he does have the win.
We are reliably informed that Casper has hit 2 lands off the ring.
How reliable is that information?
Pendelhaven in hand.
Thank you.
I find it interesting that he didn't go for it there.
He doesn't have to. Like, he loses to a leyline binding, so he has to wait for the binding to target the Soul Cauldron.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I wonder why he didn't attack though. Oh,
The
the
one
ring.
protection.
There was another ring. Yes, another ring. Yeah.
Yeah. We have seen. This is the 4th ring, though, isn't it?
This is the
I think
second ring, no?
No.
There was a really early one that got popped.
Yeah.
I think this is ring 3.
Okay, cool.
That's what I count to.
So leyline binding, okay,
Leyline
fine.
binding.
Target the Blood Artist. So now you have to activate this in response. Hope they don't have another leyline binding. If they do, you get punished. If they don't, you win the game.
Okay.
Yeah, and I was going to put a counter on Halfling. And then sacrifice his creatures to destroy lands and get 3 Blood Artist triggers.
That seems about right to me.
I don't think there's any way that Casper can interact.
Well, unless he has another leyline binding once the target has been determined.
Mm.
And then he can line binding the Blood Artist.
I think it was a mistake not to tick down the Wall of Roots. Because Wall of Roots currently has 3 counters on it. If Alex had ticked it down during his turn, it'd have 4 counters. And you could do the 5th counter.
Cycling a triome, so he knows he's not in a good place.
Yes, but if he has a Solitude, he's okay.
Yeah.
He does have 2 white sources, so he can hardcast it.
Mm.
He still has to do something about his own One Ring. Is that the counter resolving? Okay. Three Blood Artist triggers on the stack. And then he has to play a Solitude, pitch a Solitude, exile his Solitude?
Something like that.
Solitude, I believe. Yeah.
You can target your own creatures, yeah.
I don't. Yeah, but I think he needs 2 Solitudes here.
Yes, he has to have 2 Solitudes and a white card in order to win this game.
Or
Or to live,
Subtlety
sorry.
Blue. Or
to not
Subtlety
lose
Blue card
immediately.
Solitude. Yeah.
Subtlety, pitching, something to gain 3 life.
Do we know what lands were targeted?
Don't think so, but I don't think it matters right now.
Mm-hmm.
And then we see a Solitude being hardcast or pitched for.
Podcast, I think.
Surely you want to hardcast it here, right?
Would want to hardcast it here.
The situation doesn't get any better from here because there's still an active Grist in play, which can tick up and with Cauldron make another Fulminator Mage every turn.
Blood Artist under binding.
Then you should resolve the Fulminator Mages.
They do. There is a quick question, which is, does Grist have enough loyalty to downtick here?
I don't think so.
Okay. So, I mean...
And there's a Pendelhaven in hand, as well as one other card that was just drawn. So we're likely going to see an uptick and land being sniped. Oh, Meld the Grist. So that's 2 creatures.
Mm.
Yes, he may be getting punished for the for not down-ticking his Wall of Roots on the previous turn to get an extra Blood Artist trigger, because now the ring will take him down to 1. He'll gain 3 every turn.
But he can now exile a grist under the
Oh, yeah, this is
cauldron.
beautiful.
Yes.
Giving the insect a loyalty counter.
No.
Yes.
Yes.
Whenever
And then,
I play against Yawgmoth, this is how I lose. They just suddenly are just all these insect tokens with 2 types of counter on them. And then I die horribly, and it's beautiful to see. Well,
are we going to see Fulminator Mage taking out any more lands? I don't think so. Okay, that's interesting.
I don't think there's much benefit to it. I think
It does prevent Omnath. That's about it.
potentially, but I think Alex is probably looking towards, is there a scenario where I have to make a big attack and win the game that way? And at that point, just getting rid of your tokens isn't beneficial.
Yeah, having more bodies in play is the best thing.
Yeah.
Casper looks close to decking out.
I was going to say Casper's deck is looking quite slight as well. His hand looks bigger than his deck right now.
We could see a scenario where Boseiju is channeled in order to remove the leyline binding that has the Blood Artist under it.
Ooh, that'd be nice.
Alex is asking how many cards in deck, I think.
Is there an endurance in Casper's list?
If there is, we'll find out very soon.
No, there isn't.
Wow,
In main,
that's a bold
in
choice.
main, yeah, in main or board as well.
There's no other way of shuffling back in. Yeah, none at all. So he's like very likely to deck himself here. Wow. Okay.
I think we're losing connection from the venue.
The stream looks okay to me. It's just Alex spinning his pen.
I want to get that as a Windows idle. Oh,
So
is that Supreme Verdict?
It's Supreme Verdict.
That's fine. He has put it on the stack.
I would, if in his shoes, I would attack with Solitude first to gain some life.
You have to attack with Solitude first here.
Yeah. Like, but I suppose if Casper's been thinking about it, yeah, he's just
I guess maybe he has another One Ring.
Well, there was still the option of blocking and sacking the insects, so I don't think it really helps.
Oh, that's true, actually.
What do we sack the insect to?
It's
Fulminator Mage.
Mage ability.
Yeah, okay.
Like it's happening now.
But I think that happens anyway. So I think I think you still make the attack to give your opponent the opportunity to make a mistake. But
yeah, possibly.
It's interesting just joining back now. I think Alex may have had a chance to go for lethal a few turns ago if he had 1 more black mana. I believe when his grist was on 3 before he cast the new one, he could have targeted a Yawgmoth in his bin, proliferated twice if he had 4 black mana. But I don't think
there's no Yawgmoth in the bin.
I'm not sure we have a Yawgmoth in the bin.
Oh, do we not? I thought there was one in the bin.
No, he did miss lethal by not taking down Wall of Roots, but
yeah. Yeah, no,
there's another One Ring.
One Ring.
Yeah, that's not going to be tapped to draw any cards, I think. How many Otwaras are being played? 1 Otwara. So unless there's a Teferi, I don't imagine that's being tapped to draw cards.
That is the 4th ring, isn't it? This is still game 1, isn't it?
This is
game one.
Cool.
I still think Yawgmoth is favoured here.
I suppose the question I'd be asking myself in Casper's shoes is, if I lose this game, can I win game 2 before the clock runs out?
Are they actually doing this timed? I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm not sure whether this is timed.
I thought it was. If it's not timed, then yeah, absolutely play it out. But
Oh, of course, we get to tick up Grist and then put a counter on the token we make and then tick up the token as well.
Yep.
Yes.
yeah, it's bonkers.
Likely exiling a halfling here to make some mana.
Yep.
Well, to have the option to make mana and then ticking up the insect.
Playing against Alex, he's always so happy when he gets to do this. Like,
Cool, so
his
wouldn't you be?
absolute-
Why would you not be?
I would
It's
be
just his-
ecstatic.
just his unrelenting joy at being able to uptick his insects to make more insects.
Yep, and sacrificing it immediately to take out green. Probably trying to play around an endurance. Not that there is one in the deck.
Yeah.
So apparently we're running out of time on the venue, according to Baldo. So which is what I secretly have predicted is going to happen from the start, because
You
double
can't make those
elimination takes
predictions
ages.
secretly.
So I think
So
this is going to be the
what
last
time are
match.
What time are they required to be done by?
I'm not
No,
sure.
I think you may have misunderstood Baldo's message to you. I think he meant no time as in there's no time limit, because there can't be a draw for standings. So I think we are going to see this game be completed here.
Yep.
Does seem like an uphill battle for Casper at this point, being on 1, every insect token being a lethal attacker. It's worth noting that this also doesn't target your opponent, so it can get through any further rings, although it has just been
Has he just?
underneath the binding.
He's got one counter on the one ring though, which might well kill him.
That's. Yeah.
Uh-oh.
I don't know. I trust Casper has something to get himself out of this, or
This could be like his swan song.
Yeah.
Well, here's all the
Casper
things I could have done.
Casper's MO is to do an illegal move just before he concedes to you. All in good
Just
fun.
tap the ring, so he's going to die to it unless he bounces it with Teferi. Has
I
he already
think
bounced
so.
something?
Yeah, he bounced a token.
Okay. Don't think he wins this.
I mean, he might be able to do the same subtlety solitude play that he did earlier.
Yeah, given the Fulminator Mage and like everything exiled by Soul Quadrant right now, I assume that's a concession.
Yeah, that looks
It's
like he's
concession.
scooping it up.
Okay.
All right, so after a painstaking first game, Alex takes the victory. A very, very long game. No fault of
So,
the players. I think it was
Post
just
sideboard
badly
here,
matched up.
things are okay for Casper. He gets to bring in Supreme Verdict, Spreading Seas if he's feeling very spicy.
The cheeky little Yawgmoth just sitting at the side of the table there.
Oh, we're moving. Oh, okay. I guess we're moving.
Just as a reminder to our viewers, don't forget to follow, throw in that Twitch Prime sub if you're feeling spicy.
Quite.
Make sure you follow all the casters on Twitter.
I don't have Twitter.
I don't have Twitter either.
I have a Twitter account, but I can't remember what it is.
I'm considering actually joining Twitter in 2023. Be that guy who joins Twitter when it's X.
It's
one person.
painful.
The one person who joins X.
You do you, mate. You do you. I don't know.
Yeah. Please
so
don't talk about this. I don't want Elon Musk suing us or anything.
It's fine. We're not actually on Twitter. What will happen is lots of people will be very angry for 5 minutes and then move on to something else.
Okay,
So
fine. I can live with that.
How do we think they're sideboarding?
Yeah.
Casper Chalice on 2?
No way.
No, I don't.
No way.
Absolutely no way.
I don't think Chalice is going to come in here. This is.
Oh yeah, he challenges his own chalice, of course.
I mean, if you chalice, then Halfling still gets through it, so it's completely useless.
Halfling still gets through chalice, of course it does.
It does reflect Chalice's title as probably the most incorrectly sideboarded card in Modern.
Yep. Chalice deserves to be on 0 and only 0.
I
He
don't
has
know.
no
Chalice,
other use.
I've had
Chalice
some
on
bad
one
times
is
with
legit.
chalice on 1. Yeah.
Chalice on 1 is legit, but I think in Modern it's mainly used to, I don't know, stop certain shenanigans rather than as being a way to shut down entire strategies.
I see people bringing in Chalice against Burn, and I just cringe. Like, it's completely useless.
What are we? What changes to look like are more likely then?
Over sideboarding here.
Yeah.
So we're going to see Supreme Verdict come in. We're going to see Prismatic Ending come in. We'll see a Subtlety come in. Probably that's around it.
What do you think we'll see from Alex coming in?
Haywire Might, Force of Vigor.
Yep.
Maybe even the extra Fulminator Mage, just to choke the control deck on mana, right? That's the thing.
I think so. I think that's a good choice. I think also on Casper's side, you will see the Celestial Purges being brought in. Quick and easy answer for both Yawgmoth and Grist, which are the main threats, and one Subtlety. I'm sure that was mentioned, but I don't think the Spreading Seas will be brought in with all the mana dorks on Yog's side, but it's going to be quite a good sideboard for Casper here.
We might see Elven Chorus being brought in from Yawgmoth.
So, slightly different question. What do you think comes out from each of these decks then?
We don't worry about that. That's not our job.
I know, I think it's an interesting question.
Well, it's more tricky to figure out what's bad in a matchup.
Yeah. Like, what parts of the core game plan are you willing to let go of in this scenario? Like,
so I expect maybe a Grist to come out. Probably a Mana Dork or 2.
Yeah, normally the real strategy is just to kind of shave one kind of Mana Dork on kind of one undying creature. Keep the game plan fairly static, but you just kind of trim off each part of the strategy.
I can see that. And then from the control deck, what do you think you would be taking out in this scenario?
Let's look at his matchup. I think you probably want to take out. Let's have a look here. Well, the Supreme Verdict's obviously very good. Dress Down's excellent. 3 main, which is quite a high number.
All
Maybe
of the main deck.
Maybe a counterspell.
I was thinking maybe trimming the counter suite a little bit to make it a bit more specific based on what you're. Because subtlety is good against the creatures.
There's dice rolls going on.
Are they? Do they just roll for first turn in the post-board game?
I imagine also when you're playing against Dilated Halfling, it feels quite intuitive just to trim at least one counterspell. If you draw 2 counterspells in your opening hand and you don't have a way to deal with the Dilated Halfling, you're going to feel quite sad.
No, I can see that. And then, who do you think's favoured post-board?
I think Casper still. I think just the issue with Casper's version is that its late game is not as good as the B index because it can just run out of gas, especially with Alex having quite a few answers to the One Ring in his deck.
Yeah, I mean, traditionally you expect the combo deck to have a worse time post-board against the control deck, but I'm not sure that's actually going to be the case here.
It also doesn't look like either of the decks had much sideboarding, which means that it might not change all that much.
That's entirely possible.
So, yeah, small sideboards.
I do think it's interesting because Yawgmoth is so resilient to interaction.
This is why it's grown to be a very, very good prominent deck. Just attacks on lots of different angles. means matchup spread. It's got better over time. The only real bad matchup is Scam, although I've definitely lost against Yawgmoth playing Scam. If you don't draw a turn 1 Grief and Dying, the Resolve Grist can quite a problem for Scam.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't played a lot of the Scam Yawgmoth matchup, but if you don't find the ability to scam them on turn 1, it doesn't feel like you keep up with them on the mid-range game plan. So I think it is you are very incentivized to find that opening brief scam and then hope that's enough. I don't know. I feel like the Yawgmoth deck is sufficiently resilient that it can win through that. So
I think that is largely true, and also a Scammed Fury can be quite devastating for Yawgmoth. I do find that Yawgmoth can often deal with one Fury. Often that's not completely backbreaking, but a Scammed Fury allows you to kill even undying creatures because, of course, you set the triggers as such that you do the damage first and then kill the undying creatures afterwards, so you can effectively just clear their board completely.
no, that makes a lot of sense. Actually, yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense. Maybe I just need to get better at playing Scam.
Nobody needs to get better at playing Scam.
Yeah,
Scam just needs to be better, you know.
No.
As in morally.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
I agree, Scam should take a hard look at itself, think about what it's doing to the format.
Yeah.
I did just see the results from the Saturday Modern Challenge. The top 6 decks were all Scam. One was Mardu, one was 4-color, if you can believe it.
4-color Scam with Beanstalk.
No. It was playing Question Druid and it was splashing for also Wear/Tear, which seems like it would make your mana absolutely dreadful. But hey ho.
Well, you know, I didn't actually have a follow up there.
See, I want to play Orzhov Scam.
Definitely a deck that used to hang around, the kind of Stoneblade version.
Yeah.
I think that might be an end step dress down so that Halfling can't be tapped for mana.
I think that might be the case. Yeah. That's really nice, actually. That's a nice tempo play. It also means that if we see a Soul Cauldron or something here, it isn't protected by the Halfling ability. So, from a counterspell, sorry, that was a really badly constructed sentence.
What upkeep options would Alex have if Casper had dressed down in upkeep, not end step?
I don't think many. I mean, technically he could have corded for 0 to get a Dryad Arbor. That's not exactly play that.
There's also Bowmasters.
Bowmasters, yes, that's correct.
Yep. Yep. That's probably why.
Yeah, actually, it plays really nicely around Bowmasters. So, I'm enjoying Alex's hand movements here.
I've been enjoying Alex's hand movements this whole time.
It's just I can feel the enthusiasm, and it's good to see.
So Alex is trying to build his board here. Hopefully a Grist is going to pop down now. Any more creatures and you're risking running into a Supreme Verdict, which I'm sure Alex is thinking about. He did see it game 1, and you can expect more coming in from the sideboard. So yeah, he does resolve a Grist here, which is good. Let's see if... It's interesting that he didn't tap the Halfling there. Maybe he just wants to get more damage in. I guess he just wants to kill the Teferi, actually. That's more important than trying to play around a force of negation.
He couldn't tap the Halfling because it came in play this turn, and it also didn't matter.
Sorry, I forgot that it was replayed. Never mind.
Okay, so use Wall of Roots to cast the Grist. Okay. I cannot read... Oh, is that Lorien revealed? Okay.
That's Lorien revealed, yes.
Sorry. My I genuinely just couldn't tell at that point.
In terms of the losers bracket, losers round 4 has completed. Leo has beaten Callum, and Alex got beaten by Manuel. So we've got Leo versus Manuel. The winner of this will play the loser. The winner of this, sorry, the loser of this game will play the winner of Leo versus Manuel. So
interesting that Leo is on Amulet Titan today, and Manuel is playing Zoo.
So that's going to be a really interesting final then.
I imagine it will be. I think that Titan should be favoured into Zoo, I would have thought. Doesn't have that many ways of killing Titan other than Leyline Binding. So it'd be good to see Zoo in the final. Not one you'd expect to see in the final, given the decks that we've kind of seen today. It'd be a bit of a surprise.
Well, either of these players on this table could come back in for the final, seeing as we're double elimination. If the loser of this goes on to win their next match, then we'll have this exact matchup in the grand final.
Could happen.
Yeah. So it could be an opportunity for the loser of this matchup to exact revenge if they can make it back. This is quite interesting. A Fulminator Mage from Alex here. Interesting that on turn 4, Casper didn't play the One Ring, which is your kind of go-to play in Casper's deck on turn 4. He instead cycled or revealed for a mana, so maybe he was missing a land drop that turn. And if so, this might mean that Casper doesn't have a land drop this turn, which would be very good for Alex.
Maybe that's why he pushed Fulminator Mage instead of another option.
Mm-hmm.
Quite possibly. Interesting that Casper is not playing any Renin 6 in his deck. So I think this is a real risk for his deck. I mean, the curve is quite high, playing quite a few lands, but if you're not playing Beanstalks and you're not cantripping, you can run out of lands, and without a Renin 6, you can get screwed more easily than other 4-color decks. Got to say, I do think that the Beanstalk deck is the better choice, generally. Although I know Casper,
I
think, hates the card. Also a fair position to have.
Beanstalk, seeing it earlier was impressing me so much, especially when you get multiples down. As I was saying, it's like you get to play Gush in Modern.
Oh,
it really is. As soon as you get 2 Beanstalks down, it really is very difficult to lose most matchups. Other than ones that are attacking on a different axis, Burn, Belcher, etc. You just have so much card advantage, so much redundancy for all your types of interaction that it just is very, very difficult to lose. So we see Alex shoot off a Takenuma there.
Takenuma in order to get back Fulminator Mage to take out the other land.
Yep, so was right that Casper seems to be stuck on mana.
Casper does not seem happy about the existence of Takenuma at that point.
Not sure what the conversation was there.
I believe Takenuma has a weird wording on it that it's amongst the milled cards or other cards in your graveyard or something like this.
Yeah, I think it's.
It can get things from exile if there's a rest in peace in play.
You mill 3 cards, then return a creature or planeswalker card from your graveyard to your hand.
Just from. Okay, it can't then.
Yeah, mill 3, return a creature or planeswalker. Costs 1 less for each legendary creature you control.
I see.
So quick check. Who's still in the chat? Who's still watching? We still here, Daniel?
He's had to go to bed. It's after his bedtime.
Yeah.
We're going to keep this a safe space for Daniel, and try and restrict our jokes towards his young age.
we got wordplayer in the chat.
Yeah.
This is not looking great for Casper here.
So is
Bit of Yawgmoth today.
is word player Daniel?
No,
No,
is that you,
Daniel is
Daniel, yes. I was thinking that because I don't have any. It is Daniel. So Daniel, are you using 2 accounts here?
I know. I thought Daniel. Oh, for fuck's sake! I mean,
I've just blinked and now I'm looking at this board again and it's looking very one-sided.
yeah.
Yeah. So we've taken Casper down to 2 sources of mana.
Casper could go land, Supreme
basic
Verdict.
plays.
Maybe.
Yeah, I mean that will take him 2 turns. By that time, he's going to be, I think, in a world of hurt.
I don't know if Casper really has an out here.
He does. I mean, there's only 5 power on board. Now there's only 4 power on board. So
Well,
he could just go land, Supreme Verdict.
True,
could.
although 2 of that power being Yawgmoth is, doesn't just represent power, it represents a lot of opportunities for Alex to search his deck and try and find combo piece and more action.
Mm-hmm.
Can Yawgmoth choose to not target?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
You
So
target
up to
1. Nice.
Yeah.
Very nice. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a really powerful effect.
Dress down, I think, being just cycled in hopes of a land here.
It also prevents. No, it doesn't prevent cord here.
No, it doesn't. Yeah, you're right. It doesn't prevent anything.
it does reduce cord from being what is it, X is 2 to X is 1.
Yes, it does.
So yes, Daniel, that is right. The winner of this is into the final guaranteed, although the loser is not completely out. This is double elimination. So the loser of this match goes into the final of the losers bracket, and that will be. Let me just check the standings again.
It'll be the winner of Manuel versus Leo will play the loser of this.
Okay, so see a land and then an attack with Yawgmoth for 3.
Mm-hmm.
I can actually post the bracket into chat. There we go.
Perfect. So if Alex wins this game, or if Casper win this game, who will they be versing next?
The winner of the loser of this game versus the winner of losers.
So does that mean there's going to be a break for the winner of this game? Will they not play?
Yep.
And then they get an extra life, effectively. So if they lose, they get to then play again.
Milling Grist with Grist. Okay, wow. Went from bad to worse for Casper here.
Casper's saying, "What is this? What's going on here? How dare you?"
I thought he was pretending to extend the hand, but
He's just pointing at cards and calling them cringe.
I mean,
Likely
yes.
true.
I think this is probably true. Yeah.
I do have to brush up on my internet lingo, my mean language, whenever I speak with Casper. he does live in a world where bit of a dichotomy. Things are either based or cringe.
When you boil it down, everything is either based or cringe.
Or cope.
Or cope, that's true.
Nah, because that's cringe.
I think this judge is now reading Grist.
I don't know. Can't cope also be based? I don't know.
No, cope is never based.
I don't know. Okay, Luke, I will trust your knowledge of the youth lingo here. You're what, a full -2 years younger than me, right?
Yeah, of course. It's not about age, it's about vibes, you know?
Yeah, that's fair. I've definitely got a
Oh,
older than my years vibe. Ooh,
are we going to see
This would be
Supreme
fun.
Verdict?
You might be seeing Supreme Verdict.
One Ring and Supreme Verdict would both be really nice plays here.
If we see a Supreme Verdict into a chord for a Blood Artist, that would be brutal.
That would be game, in fact, wouldn't
It would be
So
game.
there's the Supreme Verdict.
So if we see a
Does
chord for a
Alex
Blood
have
Artist
it?
too, it's game over.
Does he have it?
I think if Alex can proliferate here and put another counter on his Grist, he could probably win next turn just by down ticking because he will have more than 8 creatures in the yard. So I'm not
He's
sure
just gonna-
what Grist is on right now.
I think Grist entered on 3, ticked up, so now it's on 4. So
Right, it's on 4. I mean, if he did proliferate here, presumably he could just win the game by down ticking his Grist and
it
ultimate
doesn't
it.
seem like he floated any mana, so I don't think he's going for that play.
He could have fetched for a untapped black source and proliferated though.
He didn't
Yeah, I
need
mean,
to.
he
I mean,
had an
he had an
ignoble.
ignoble hierarch, and
So I'm pretty
would have been
sure that was missed lethal because I don't think there's anything that Casper can do without any mana to disrupt that plan. So maybe we're missing something, or maybe just Alex didn't see the line there. Didn't realise that he would have 8 creatures. I do believe he does have 8 creatures in the library in his graveyard. He had about 6 creatures out last turn that were just destroyed, and I think he had at least 2 creatures
yeah, that was missed
in the
lethal.
yard before that. So maybe we'll ask him about that. And this is a long day for players, a long tournament. We can forgive them for missing a line like that. You never know. Maybe he's got something in hand which guarantees lethal anyway.
It does seem a downside of playing these really complicated, massive skill tree, option tree type decks. Whereas every turn it feels like there's something you could have done that was better than what you actually chose.
I feel like that's where you want your deck to be, you know? You really want to just...
I just want to throw 3s at their face.
You should just be playing Burn. Just play Burn. Don't worry about it.
You know,
Even then, you still have a lot of decisions to make.
Okay, so see a Cauldron drop, and he can just win here. He can just get rid of the Yawgmoth and proliferate and down to his Grist.
Maybe he's realised that now?
Which I think he's doing, which accomplishes the same play that we pointed out last turn.
No, I think he's stuck on the drawing cards train. Oh, he's going to proliferate. Yep.
He's going to do it. I knew Alex was good enough to find the line.
Maybe a turn late, but he found it.
That or he's going to tick up and swing for 4.
No, he's discarding a card to proliferate. I mean, he might just swing for 4. If he does that and doesn't realise that he can tick down Grist, I would be very surprised.
I think that's the Grist ticking down.
He's counting the graveyard. That's
yeah.
Okay.
I think we're about to see a hand appear from the other side of the battlefield.
That will do it.
Oh, that's game. That's game.
Casper can't believe it. He refuses to admit defeat. And he sheepishly drags his cards away. Okay, so congratulations to Alex for the 2-0. Undefeated today. Doing very well. Casper has another chance next turn to bring it back. He has to play against the winner of Leo versus Manuel. I do not believe we have the result for that game yet. Maybe we can just check on that.
I assume they've started. There was no reason for them to wait for this match to finish. So.
No, I would assume they would have started.
Yeah, so I think we might have a little bit of a wait on our hands because we'll have to wait until that game concludes.
Alex 2, Casper 0. Can you go coast to coast with Yawgmoth?
I think so.
There's the question.
And the answer is it's definitely a possibility.